Hey everyone, it's Colin from DIY Guy. Thanks for clicking on today's video. If you enjoy the content, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Helps out the channel a ton. But in today's video, I'm going to talk about root rot because it's something I'm battling with right now because like a lot of people, I'm kind of an avid waterer. I overwater things. And a lot of the times, the symptoms of overwatering look the same as underwatering. So it's kind of hard to distinguish what you're doing wrong without actually using some sort of a moisture meter to test how wet your soil is. So this morning I came out to my garden and unfortunately I found a victim of root rot. So rest in peace to this now toast sugar snap pea. And unfortunately this is what I was looking forward to harvesting the most. I've still got a few here on the trellis. Hopefully I can make the rest of them survive and kind of fix my problem here. But what was weird to me was that it started rotting, or not rotting, it started dying from the bottom up. So down here, get a little closer. So down here is crispy. You know, you can kind of hear that it just falls apart. It's like powder. So it's crispy down here, and then up toward the top, they're just kind of, you know, almost soggy, I guess. They're just really wilted. And the problem is that the roots are literally rotting, and they're like a darker brown color, and they also get really soft. And so they're kind of they just feel rotten. Whereas if you look at a healthy plant root, this is just a weed I pulled out of the ground, but a healthy plant root looks like this. It's nice and white, and it looks really, you know, just clean, healthy, pretty firm. And then this here is like just literally rotted. Right now it was rotted, and so I can just kind of snap it off now that it's dried out. But it's kind of a dark brown as opposed to the white here. So root rot is actually caused by a fungus. I don't know the exact scientific name. You can Google it if you're interested, but that fungus thrives in wet, moist areas in the soil that don't get a lot of aeration. And so if your soil is either really wet, really soupy, or if it just has a lot of organic material and holds a lot of water and you tend to overwater it, that's going to be the perfect place for this fungus to thrive. And so instead of watering every day because you see your leaves wilting and maybe turning yellow from the bottom up, your problem is probably that you're watering too much, and you should test your soil to see how wet it is, which is what I'm going to do next. All right, so to measure soil moisture, one thing you can do if you don't have a meter is you can just stick your finger in the dirt about 2 inches. And if it's still wet, you don't need to water it. That's the simple solution. But since I had this moisture meter laying around, I bought it for a previous video to check the pH of my soil. This is the Sonicer 3-in-1 soil tester, which I made a video of previously. I can measure moisture, pH, and light. So today I'm just going to have it on the moisture setting, and it's pretty cool. All you do is stick it in the ground. So I have it right where the old snap pea was, where, let's see where it is. Yeah, this dead guy, was stuck right in there. So it's now toast, so I pulled it out. But if I look at the moisture reading on this, it is not good. So if I zoom in here, you can see that we want to be in about the 4 to 7 range. That's where the moist reading is, but instead we're down in the 9 range, which is wet, and that is where we do not want to be. So because I have a lot of organic matter here, this is basically just kind of a lot of compost, mushroom compost, and this holds a lot of water and it doesn't dry out very quickly. So I was watering it about every day when I should have only been watering about once every 3 or 4 days with the current temperature and kind of climate. Right now we get rain about once a week, and it's only about 75 or 80 degrees. So once I realized that I was killing my peas, I wanted to try to reverse that a little bit by helping the soil dry out. So before I had a bunch of mulch up here to try to keep moisture in, so I scraped all that away, and then I actually kind of dug out the soil on each side of the snap pea roots just to help it dry out a little bit, because you can see I scraped all this away this morning and we're sitting at about 8.7 on a scale of 10. That's really just what I wanted to show you. I wanted to show you that overwatering and underwatering can kind of look the same. I just wanted to show you what to look for, especially with your snap peas. You can see that really what happens is it starts yellowing from the bottom up, and that's how you know you're gonna have a problem. I hope you enjoyed this video. Hopefully it helped you if you're kind of struggling with the same thing I am. Maybe you're seeing some of your plants die from the bottom up, and it's just a little disconcerting because I hate trying to figure out what's killing my plants. So if you're thinking that it's root rot or something, make sure you get a moisture meter or stick your finger in the ground a couple inches and just get a feel for how wet your soil is, and really monitor that closely, because that is probably your problem if you're looking at something like this. So with that, keep growing it yourself and have a good one.